Hey y'all, it's Brad Allen with the Art of Real Estate. And I don't know if you follow our podcast, Real Estate Untucked, but if you don't, you need to go follow it because we're interviewing people from all across the country that are top producers, medium producers, or just getting started. And we always typically ask this one question, like, if you were going to start over in real estate today, what would you do? And so I got kind of challenged to create a video about it because somebody's like, well, what would you do, Brad? Because usually I'm the one asking the questions. So I thought, all right, that's a great question. So I put some thought to it. Real estate's not easy, right? And you know, being in the business now 18 years, being a broker in charge in 4 states, probably been a part of 3,500 transactions. There's a lot of crap I'd probably do differently. But I think the main things that I would do if I was getting back into real estate is I would go find a mentor or someone that knows you well and literally ask them and say, do you think I would be good in a business to business sales kind of program? What didn't happen for me, I remember it was 2006. I thought about getting into real estate. There's a couple of different career paths I could have gone down. I walk in the door of this residential real estate company. I met with a guy, found out he was a recruiter. No wonder, he was really good at what he did. And I walked away going, I got a job that doesn't pay me anything, doesn't guarantee me anything, is all my hard work with me bringing deals to the table. I had just finished college, a town that I didn't grow up in, and the only people I knew are from my service industry job and going to school. So in all intents and purposes, I was not a good candidate for real estate, but I did have a couple things going for me. I had my personality, which you can tell I've got a good one, but also I've got an easy way of talking to people because working through service industry, I can have small talk. I can do things like that. So I had a couple of character traits I think were going to be good. And one thing I did have, I had grit. I don't give up. I like to figure out problems. I like to help people through things, but I had to ask people, do you think I'd be good at this? Because we all think we'll be good at real estate. Everybody loves real estate. You're watching this damn video because you love real estate. But when I interview new agents, one of the questions I always like to ask them is, where do you think your business is coming from? And y'all, the blank doe-eye stares I get back are incredible because nobody thinks about that. They think real estate is opening up doors, writing offers, negotiating, driving Porsches, doing all this stuff. And yeah, it can be. That's the fun stuff. Y'all, that's probably 5% of the business. 90% of it is finding people to sell houses to. So that's one of the things I would also look at. Do you have a network where you're at? If you don't have a network, it does not mean you can't be successful. I'm a product of that, but it does mean that you're going to have to create one. The other thing I would look at is be very, very, very careful on which company you choose. I'm not saying that as a plug at the Art of Real Estate. However, we'd always like to have conversations with people. However, we say no more than we say yes. And that's not to scare people off. But I'm not about to put people in a position that they can't succeed. Just like working with a buyer, I'm not going to show you something that's twice the price of your budget. It's not going to be successful for you. It's not going to work out. How are you going to succeed? And that comes from which company you hang your shingle with, right? Everybody is nice and shiny and they're going to talk to you and say you're going to be a rock star. You need to really have some in-depth conversations with people that have worked there or work there currently because y'all, it does not come down to splits. If your first 20 questions to a broker when you're brand new to the business is how much money do I get to keep, you're wrong. And I know that seems backwards because you think you're going to make money. If you're not impressed with this company that you are interviewing with and you're not so certain that they're going to help you achieve your goals, then I probably wouldn't hang my shingle there. But if you go to a company that has tools, training, onboarding in the manner that you learn, then that's the place to go. Think of it as an apprenticeship. I know our culture's gotten away from apprenticeships. We think that we're automatically an expert because we've done one thing one time. Guys, you're not. You need to go in there and be able to see how people do business because that will make you better. Just think of like an NFL athlete. They're not getting shit out of high school because they're not there yet. But as they put their energy and effort in, then when they start actually producing numbers, that's when people start throwing their checkbooks at them. My number one thing is do not get stuck on commission. You're going to lose every time because a company that offers you more commission than you're worth is not going to offer you the support and the techniques that you're going to need to succeed. And I like to look at this from my own perspective back when I started. So when I started, I literally walked in, they handed me a binder. I'm not knocking them on it. It was 2006. Not a lot of technological advancements going on at the moment. They handed me a binder that was thick as hell and they're like, here's our manual, good luck. Y'all, I read that thing cover to cover several times. And the only thing I remember 18 years later, 19 years later is wear a shirt that's lighter than your suit. That's it. That's all I remember. And I was like, cool, but what do I do now? And I'd go to my broker He gave me these recommendations. I wrote them down because I still remember this day. Call for sale by owner, see if you can get their listing. Call expireds, see if you can get their listing. Go around in the office, see experienced agents, and see if they'll let you do open houses for them on Sundays. And if all else fails, go knock on some doors. Y'all, that is the most bullshit answer I've ever heard in my life. But a lot of these brokerages get you in because they think that you're going to sell a couple of houses. And if they think you stay busy, you think you're productive. And I want to teach you the opposite. So what I've learned in my experience is being busy is not productive. Being productive is productive. But just doing something to do it does not make you efficient. It does not make you better. So if somebody's telling you the way to get business is called expireds, FSBOs, and doing open houses, run as fast as you can away from there, because what you need to be focused on is how to build a book of business. You need to be taught and you need to learn how to get that business, which is something I never got. I remember rolling up in 2007 to a house in Gregg Park here in Columbia that was probably $500,000 at the time. So it's probably 1.5 at this point. I rolled up in like a 2001 Xterra from college, wearing jeans, a button down. I looked like a schmuck. And at the same time, I walk in there because I was like, yeah, I might have a buyer for your house. Let me see it. I didn't have a damn buyer, but I had the gall to go in there and do this. And they probably read right through me. But that's what I was taught to do. Just kind of fake it till I make it. I was never taught to build a book of business. So I started working on creating that by going to events, by going to small groups, joining churches, whiskey clubs, book clubs, whatever I could do to be around people. Because I knew if I was going to be around people, you were going to make that business happen. So if you're going to get going forward, one, it's all about education. Your first 1 to 2 years needs to be nothing but education and learning. Go to every single training that your company offers. If they don't offer trainings, don't go work there. If there are designations you're interested in. So the Realtor Association does a really good job with higher education. So if you're interested in military relocations, go get that designation. Also, start out. Write down everybody that you know, from your phone to your Facebook to whoever it is, write them down, get them in a spreadsheet. If you don't start a database on day one, and if that is not preached to you at whatever company you go to, they're doing a big disservice to you. You've got to keep your database current and you've got to keep it living. So database, education, first two things. And then you need to build relationships. I'll tell you a little secret. It's what we do here at Art of Real Estate. I think in 90 days, you need to join 3 groups. But there need to be 3 groups that you're interested in. So what are you interested in? Pickleball, whiskey, books, church, I don't care. And then lastly, leverage technology. If you walk around with a paper calendar, you deserve to lose that thing at some point. That's not helpful. You need to come with the times. You need to use a really good technology suite. The company you interview with, ask about their technology. What do they provide you? Technology is the name of the game when it comes to real estate now. That's why we have agents doing 50, 60, 80, 100 deals a year, because they're leveraging technology to help them be more efficient and also have a better home life. And lastly, I'd probably stay away from leads for now. So if you're looking for business, I would start first with creating the database. That needs to be your baseline. You're going to get a couple of low-hanging fruits out of that. You're going to close. And then once you've maxed that out and you've got your business working, you've got your networking plan in place, and you want more business, now you can afford to buy leads. So I would recommend going back and working on your foundation, because nobody can take that book of business from you. Because if you're a good people person, you're going to be successful in this business. So I thought that was what I would do if I went back. I'm curious, if you had to go back, if you're an agent right now, if you had to go back, what would you do differently? Or if you're not, you're thinking about getting into it, drop me some questions or DM me. I love helping agents when they're getting in the business. If you need anything else, let me know. And if you got any referrals coming to the South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee market, our company would love to help you.